Good morning and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bloodworth, and as you can see, this is going to be a channel news update, update number 35. So, want to apologize. I've been, kind of under the weather and just away from things in general the past week. So it's been a while since I've done a video, and what I want to do here is I'm going to change this up a little bit, and that I'm going to run this video more as a, what is upcoming. And so you'll see some of the things that I'm going to be reviewing or previewing on the channel over the next couple of weeks as I start to get the physical copies, of some of the games that I have or that I'm waiting for to arrive, and plus some other projects and such. So let me jump right into it. And this is going to be a very Bloat Games, heavy intro. So Bloat Games, if you're not familiar, is is an independent game developer, Eric Bloat, and the rest of his crew. He has several people that work with him, fairly consistently, and really good products, and so I highly recommend them. And some of the things that I've picked up recently and looking forward to getting the physical copies of is there's Dark Places and Demogorgons, the Cryptid manual, which is an OSR bestiary. So it's a it's basically a monster manual for his for his system and his game Dark Places and Demogorgons. So I'm really looking forward to that. I already have the PDF, but I'm looking forward to the physical soft cover in my hands. So that's out and available. You can purchase that on drive-through. There's also Survive This Vigilante City, and that was a game that I backed in the Kickstarter, and I backed it at a level to create an NPC character in it, and along with the corresponding art. And I'm really excited about what Eric and his team has done with my very basic idea of a character. And so I actually have the character here. I'll hold this up. So this is the character I created, Micro Ninja, who is a hero, and you'll find him on page 225 when you get the book. And I really hope you do purchase this game. It comes in two books: a core book and then a Vigilantes supplement that has all the or perhaps it's a villains supplement. It has all the background for where your characters will be adventuring in. But so this is my character, Micro Ninja, and the first time that I created this character in City of Heroes, and as his name implies, in City of Heroes he was as small as you could possibly make a character, and he was basically a martial artist and dressed like a ninja, and did the whole build on him of being just a martial artist with super leaps and shadowy abilities, like almost like illusionary abilities. He used to have a smoke effect that would billow out around him. So if you were familiar with City of Heroes, which was a great MMO back in the day, that was my character, my favorite character, the one I played the most, and and possibly even the very first character I created. So when I saw Survive This Vigilante City in the Kickstarter, and I was already familiar with Bloat Games and some of their games, I jumped right in on it. And what Eric and his team did with the actual character stats, I'm blown away. Quite frankly, blown away. So one of the things that I really like about it is that this character was cursed by an uba, which is a mythological witch in Japanese folklore. And during a trip that he made to Japan, and he had accidentally run into her, and even though he was apologetic, she was kind of vengeful on him, and so cursed him with you know, um, this shrinking curse that made him obviously start to lose size at first very rapidly. And my intention was that the character was going to start out as being roughly 3'9" and weighing about 60, 70 pounds or so when he first started. Or actually, it's 3'10" and 68 pounds. And what Eric, and his team had done, or possibly just Eric, is that he built in a continuation of the shrinking. So every even level that this particular character gains, he is going to shrink an additional 3 inches. So it was really something that I wasn't expecting or anticipating. So I'm really stoked about it. It was a great idea, and I can't wait to actually play this character in the game. And I hope you enjoy playing the character as well if you use him as an NPC. So so I can't say it enough. I mean, read through a good portion of the game rules. I obviously got stuck on reading this like crazy. So highly recommend the game. It's a great game system. It uses a very similar system to his other games, so it's rules light, very easy to jump right into, and a lot of fun. So the next thing, which I haven't taken a look at yet, but it's in my future downloads, is the Blackest of Deaths, which is a dire old school fantasy RPG, also put out by Bloat Games, also available on drive-through. And I think I got that as part of the package of the Kickstarter when I bought the other items. So although maybe it was just there separately and I picked it up separately, but you can get all three games, or game systems, or supplements right there on drive-through. So highly, highly recommend it. Next one's up. I'm waiting for the physical copy of Armies and Hordes. All right, so of Armies and Hordes is put out by Ganesha Games. Andre, I'm sorry, I can't say Andre's last name. I still haven't figured it out, even though I'm Italian and I can't quite get the Italian pronunciation of his last name. But of Armies and Hordes, he produced a binder version of the game book, and I guess he made a limited number of those copies right now, and he's currently mailing them out. I think he only has two left. But it's an army level fantasy miniature game based on the Song of Blades engine. So Song of Blades is an earlier version of a tabletop skirmish level miniatures game, and then there's the advanced Song and Blade, which is obviously an advanced version of that, and now this is a supplement, just going on to a much larger scale. So I'm looking forward to getting that in the mail as well. So you can expect to see at least 4 videos on those particular items coming up in the very near future. As far as purchasing Ganesha Games products, which includes 4 Against Darkness, which I've done quite a few videos on. I'll put links in the description so that you can go take a look at those. A lot of Ganesha Games products obviously are gotten directly from their website, but you can also find them on Lulu and even on Amazon as well. So highly recommend that game. That game system is both a tabletop miniatures game and the solo RPG game are great. Games, really enjoy them, so recommend them. As far as the channel itself, all right, so Unscripted and Unchained is still growing. I'm still enjoying making these videos and, getting a lot of good comments, some constructive criticism, which I really appreciate. And when I do my next comic book preview, you will see a change in the way that I do them. And that was a direct response to a Facebook post that was saying, listen, if you're going to do this, do this, do it this way. It'll work out better. And, just another example of, how valuable feedback is and how valuable, leaving comments. I always try to respond to them as best I can. And, and like I said, when they're constructive criticism, I really appreciate that as much as any praise that I get because it does allow me to produce better videos in the future. So I'm looking forward to doing the next comic book or maybe my next graphic novel throwback so that I can take some of those pointers and put them to use. Next step. So projects that I've been working on. So last week, actually the week before, I had midwinter recess. Blah. I had the whole week off. Although I was working 2 other days during that break, so I had 2 3-day weekends and then a single day in between. And I was really planning on doing, a good amount of gameplay during that time, and I just didn't get around to doing it. But what I did end up doing was I did end up writing around Sunday, I think it was, and I'm going to guess that was like Sunday the 17th. All right, so Sunday the 17th, I started thinking about, well, what games out there or what, game themes out there do I think is kind of lacking that I'd like to either try to find one out there or maybe even, try to dabble with making my own game system. And a particular theme came across to me that I don't think that there are that many pirate themed games out there where you're playing a genuine pirate. And that means that your motives and your actions are, not the same as what you would see in, Pirates of the Caribbean video or movie, I should say, or, what you've seen in other games. And, there just wasn't that kind of dark and grittiness, to the games that I've seen out there. And, that was something that I thought to myself, this is something I'd really like to, play around with a little bit. So I started developing a system for it, and I actually play tested a combat sequence with a friend of mine. And we play tested it online, and it seemed to be going pretty well. Actually, I was pretty satisfied with the, and so was he with the action. We saw some things that we'd have to tweak, but it is certainly something that I'm really starting to get the idea that I'd like to go forward and try to produce and then put it out there, whether I put it out there as a Kickstarter or put it out there as as just a self-published thing on drive through. Not quite sure about the whole process of doing it. So over the next couple of months, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be working on writing it and work on finding some of the finer details of how you go about producing something like that on your own. So if any of the game developers out there that are actually following my channel, if you have any pointers, feel free to just leave a comment. Or if on Facebook you want to send me a private message, you can do it there as well and just say, hey, this is something that you need to do first to make sure. I mean, I already have an artist who I can call upon to do things like cover art and stuff like that. As a long time computer, internet friend going back to 2002. I also have another 2002 friend who, she is a published author, and so she can advise me on, how to go about checking for copyright and things like that. And I have a whole group of, gaming friends, dating back to 2002 that I can use as, trusted game testers to see, how this thing is going. And then when the time comes, when I come closer to deciding whether or not I'm going to go the Kickstarter route or some other route, we'll go and discuss it and see how we'll put it out there. And there'll be my list of playtesters and other contributors and such. So it really is something that I'm planning on getting done within the next, I'd say, 6 to 9 months, if that's at all possible. If that's not possible, please, and you're familiar with doing these kinds of things, then, please tell me, listen, that's unrealistic or whatever. Give me some, some constructive tips on, no, this is what you really need to do. So, and I super, super appreciate that as well. So, other than that, I mean, I am looking to get some gaming done over the next couple of weeks, and get back to doing some writing, some adventure writing, which is a lot easier because you don't have to worry about publishing those. And I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime very soon. So you all have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you, next week, and the following weekend. I should be much more open for some gaming. So you all have a great afternoon.